Because see, that's the mindset that we still believe. We still believe in America that the black vote, as long as it's mixed in with the white vote, it makes a difference. But we're still going to treat you the way we treat you. Listen, it don't matter if it's Democrats in office. It don't matter if it's Republicans in office. We're still treated the same. Look at Obama's watch. I mean, the Zimmerman, the Boston, all of those different crimes were committed on his watch. So what am I saying? It's bigger than that. I don't believe, I'm going to say this because I believe in stepping out and being this far with it. I don't believe that no black person should be voting in this next election. And let me tell you why. Until, like I said, Lovely Tina, our last podcast towards the end, until we come together and say, listen, we will vote for you, but this is what you need to do. You need to make this happen in order for us to vote for you.
We need your signature.
Exactly, as a black party. Right. Because our vote doesn't, no matter how much we think it does, you still in poverty. Black people are still looking as they're still racist people who dominate you. There's still loans that black people can't get. There's still properties that you can't even move in, communities you can't even move in. But why? But you still looking at that vote as though that vote makes a difference in your life when you have to be radical. Listen, you have to be radical. I'm not saying in a violent way. You have to be more radical to say, hey, listen, exactly. I'm tired of going to the polls because my vote is not counting if my people are still getting, police are still aiming their triggers towards them. Do you know that there's police officers who actually go after people during a certain time of the year because they know they don't have car insurance? They know they don't have car insurance, but they know that they can go to these people. But we still saying our vote count. No, it doesn't. Until we come together as a people, as a party, to make one punch, to say, hey, we all stick together. This is what we're looking for. That's when change is going to happen.
That's better. If we don't get it, that we want money.
We want money. And the first thing you can do is what? You know what I'm about to say? Right? What?
Reparations. We gotta have a contract. I will have a contract with them. If this is what we spelled out, this is what we want done. This is an agreement, and if you don't meet this agreement, hey,
you can keep voting if you want.
What were you gonna say? RW3.
We mentioned
let's just go with I want to separate facts from emotion. Number one. This is from a general sense, because I don't have all of the details. So I'm going off from memory in some cases. Okay. With President Obama, and I think we may have mentioned it on a previous podcast, under his presidency, and both chambers were Democratic chambers, Senate and the House. They were able to pass the Affordable Care Act. And with the Affordable Care Act, additional 20 million people gained health insurance. Many of those poor, which is some poor whites and Black and disadvantaged African Americans. So let's flip it. So now here we are in 2020 with 45. Right now, they put in a brief, I think Thursday or Friday night, in the Supreme Court about overturning and making it unlawful, right? And they put a brief, and I think the arguments are going to be this fall with this current president and this administration, where there's a possibility at the Supreme Court level, which has a right lean to it, with Gorsuch and the other person, Kavanaugh, just getting put in place, that it could be considered unlawful. So that means 20 million people and those with pre-existing conditions, because they don't have a replacement plan, not even with this pandemic, in which is adversely affecting Black folk, more Black people are going to die. And that's a direct result of people not going to the polls, and this particular individual, 45, being put in office. So the president, do I agree generally? Every little thing in our life, who's in office, does it make a difference? There are some major legislation based on who's in office, does trickle down and impact the people. I gave you an actual example of when one president was in and what happened, and now the other, he's been incrementally, you can look it up, dismantling different pieces of the Affordable Care Act. So it's almost to the point now it could be gone. So we can't make the argument that the president doesn't make a difference, because I gave you a fact.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not saying that the president. Here's the thing. So we won't get it. We won't get it misconstrued. I'm not saying that a president won't help Black folks. I'm not saying that,
right?
Because they all have to some degree. Now here you go. Obama personally, I don't know what he did to help Black people. And I'm just gonna throw that out there for just an example. I don't know what he did to help Black people. Hold on, but let me say this. But I can tell you this is this. I'm gonna go on the president that you hate. This man has passed an act where people who are in prison or 3 strikes you out has come out. And he's even partnered Black people to come out of prison where Obama didn't even try to do. And here's the thing. You even could go back in the past and pull up Joe Biden. You can pull up Joe Biden past. This man is just as racist as Obama. I mean, as Donald Trump. He's made many racist statements towards Black people. Even to the money, as well as to one we was just reading, an article that we was reading that he was against Black folks on. So here, listen what I'm saying. What am I telling you? You gotta get out of that thinking to think that these people care about you. They don't. Your vote become more powerful when you set aside Black folks who sit aside. Because listen, here it go. Let me throw something out there for you, whether you want to believe it or not. The Constitution wasn't for Black people, whether you want to believe it or not.
We agree.
For you to be, listen, they didn't expect for you to live as long as you living today. It wasn't for you. So listen to what I'm telling you. This society, when presidents run, they're running for white people. You can believe what you want. They're running for white people. They're not running for you, because if they was, laws would have been changed. Why do you think a cop so carefree believe that he can go out and take your life? Why do you believe that? Because you're powerless. Here we go. We got to stop saying that, your vote count. Okay, tell me when it counted. Because all I know is my people still in impression from the first day. They still being pressed from the beginning.
But it's
of time.
Continuum. It's a continuum, Tom. Like we're talking about action. Like you say, you want action.
Exactly.
Voting is an action.
No, listen to what I'm saying. It's not. Listen to what I'm saying. Vote, obviously, in an utopia world, in a perfect world, voting is the way you should do it. But here we go. Voting with power makes it even better. Mm-hmm. When I know that I got a party of people who saying, listen, we tired of the BS. We tired of the things that we're going through. We tired of this, and we better start seeing change. Until then, we have a movement. And we're legal. We're not illegal. We're not causing crime or doing any. I want to make sure I say this on this social media page. When I mean movement, I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about a movement of power to say, people, hey, listen, all of us Black people are for the same thing, change with our people. And until you make that happen, I'm not voting for you, or I'm not voting for you. Now, you may hear the word not voting, but what I hear is, I don't hear not voting. I'm hearing that these people are saying that I need you to win. Because guess what? I know that you are still a legitimate people who can vote. So I need you to win. If I get your vote, then I would definitely be into my president seat. We got to understand that mentality, not the mentality, well, if they don't vote, then that means we don't have no power. No, get out of that in mentality. Get out of that. Get out of that in mentality. That y'all know what I mean when I say in mentality. Get out of that mentality and go to the mindset to say, listen, if all of my people come together who've been oppressed through this Western society, we've had some benefits. I get it. But what I'm saying is when we understand that, listen, we're not saying anything to you, brother, until you pass this legislation. Until you pass it, then that's when we'll vote for you. But until you don't, we're clearly in the corner.
They all talk that crap.
They
talk, and say they're gonna do things.
And they don't do anything.
Real quick. And then when they get in these seats, nothing is done that they say they're gonna do. From Donald Trump, from Obama, you can go all the way back, and nothing gets done, and it's tiring, it's frustrating, and we want change.
You know they call the black. They call the black people the whores. We don't. They call us whores. They know what they call. Listen, it was. I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Roland Martin, allegedly. I don't know if it was him, but it was some guy who said that they called him on the phone. They was trying to get another vote because they knew they already had their vote. Meaning the black folks vote Democrat. They knew they already had their vote. And he looked at that to say, wow, okay, is it like that? You already knew you. I don't know if it was Roland Martin, allegedly. I don't know if it was him. But I'm saying it was one of those guys who he looked at this as though, wow, you knew you got my vote, so you want to just get some other vote. Because they believe that we're whores. They believe that you could say anything you want to us, and then we just gonna run over there to the corner and continue being used. The Democratic Party feet need to be put to the fire on how they treat black people. You better stop giving your vote. You better, let me say this. You better stop giving up that cookie. You know what I'm talking about for women. You better stop giving it up and start asking, hey, listen, what you gonna do for me?
Well, we got some real interesting comments, and I don't want to keep reading. So RW3, you want to take a couple of them?
So I'll go from the bottom up. So, because it's something we were talking about. Kiana Mitchell said, yes, she looked it up, and they are dismantling everything was put in place. However, I'm with what Tony said, that Obama didn't do much for us. However, he is not our issue. We need to vote on the local and state level, not just doing presidential way. So a couple of things, and I was going to say this before she chimed in. I think we're talking, it's like we're just conflating a lot of different areas. Now, my argument to Tone was, if I'm not mistaken, his argument was that nothing President Obama did benefited us directly. I was rebutting that because something he did do benefit us directly. Now, which I do agree with Kiana in this point. I don't have an expectation like the president is a president of the United States of America. So their job is the country. I agree with Kiana in terms of what impacts me more so is going up here, mayor, city council, state, and making sure that we go up and down these judges on these appellate courts and district courts that we need to educate ourselves on, who have a direct impact when I get pulled over and I'm going in front of this judge tomorrow. There's very unlikely that I'm going to be before the Supreme Court with this issue.
Everything else walk. Dollars talk and everything else walk.
See, this is what we got to get to understand as a people. This is what we're losing now. You're taking the bait when you believe that my vote counts. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I get it just like everybody else. But we have to get tired of saying that let's take our vote to the polls. Listen. Let me speak fairly on this. I feel the same way about Donald Trump that I feel about Joe Biden. I feel the exact same way. Now let me say what I'm about to say. So we'll get that out of the way. So we won't make things think I'm just on the Democrats. I feel the same way about both presidents. Listen, when did you see or where did you see Joe Biden jump into the picture before he said that he was going to become president. In fact, you didn't even hear this guy's name. You didn't hear his name or anything other than he dealing with that, what was that deal with his son with the gas company over there? I don't know if it's in Russia or somewhere, doing a scandal. The only time and it pisses me off because, and I got to calm down my rage into the area where this is the time when we accept this BS coming into our community when these jokers decided they want to make a point they want to run for president. So now all of a sudden they're about black folks. You didn't even hear this guy. You didn't hear his name. He was silent. I don't know what this guy been doing other than making capitalist deals like every other white businessman do and taking over their society so that you and our last message, so you can still believe is about white privilege and not about being about owning everything so that you can call it white privilege. They don't listen. These guys are on their game. They're on their game, and now it's so it's time to run for president. Well, let me round up I don't want to say the N word. Let me round up the ends and get them together so they can come on in. See, what I'm saying is you better stop being fooled and say, listen, either now is now or nothing. And hopefully it's because I'm gonna be honest, the old folks my age, we through. I ain't even. We need to. I'm going towards the younger people. But I'm just be honest. I'm going towards the younger people. Young people. No, you know what I'm talking about. Young people. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking about these old folks. Young people, you better listen. If you want to make a difference in your community, I'm talking about black young people. You better start going after the juggler. You have to stop saying that because the president throw out a couple of words, you're gonna bite it and say, I'm voting for you. You young people, you have to come together as a people and say, hey, listen, this is our demands. This is what we're looking for. We form this party. You better look at these demands. If you don't, we won't vote for you.
That's so you know what? I actually agree with you.
Right, we all agree too.
Because here's the thing: you can't win the game if you're not playing it, and that's all. That's my only point with the vote. But I absolutely agree with you. Before you get to the poll and cast your vote, that yes, there needs to be an organized, and I don't know if it has to be a party, but there needs to be an organized effort, an organized movement. You know, like the Black Lives Matter movement. That is a tool that can be used to say, you need to have town hall meetings. We want our presidential candidates to have town hall meetings in every urban city in America and listen to us. And then that's when our threat becomes valid because we have them, they are listening to us, and we can say at that point, these are the things that we demand that you do if you want our vote. Otherwise, you won't get our vote. You know, saying it in a vacuum or saying it without.
But they can tell you we're gonna do these things and they don't do it. So we need to have something. We need an agreement. We need it signed.
You have to have the party.
We need something written up because documents matter. Black and white on paper matter.
Well, see, here's the thing. They already believe there's a people who already believe that black folks doesn't stick together. Lovely T. All I'm saying is it does matter about us having a party because that's where the voice is. See, listen. We can make here's the mentality that I see. Okay, you have business owners out there, and you have certain people who, and I always go this route, where you have certain individuals who make it and they look down on their other partner. I mean, they other black folk, they other brother and sister. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that for a reason. This makes a difference because even if you don't understand that there's people who looking at the divisiveness, if I say that word right, that goes on in our community that we don't stick together is always a problem within our people. So what am I saying? When you form a party, you're forming unity. You're saying that we are together as one. Listen, that's the same difference to why I need you when I'm in business like you need me when I'm in business, because I need you to help support my business like I need to support yours. When I'm out here by myself and in a world of nothing but white business owners, I'm going to drown. So it's the same thing in parties. When my voice doesn't really matter as a separate individual for Black folks. Listen, here we go. My voice doesn't really matter as a separate entity in terms of me being one Black person. But when I have 40,000 people, 40 million people who are saying, listen, I'm side with this party, your voice becomes powerful now. So now you can make a more difference because these people are all voting on the same principles. So if a Donald Trump or Joe Biden say, listen, I'm not for reparations, 42 million say, oh, but we are. So right. if you don't agree with us, then we won't vote for you as a party. So see, that's what I'm saying. So we as a Black people, we can't afford to be separate in a white society. We can't afford to be by ourselves. So that's why I'm saying it's time for us to wake up and form a party for our people so that we can make a bigger punch in terms of this society and our growth as a Black community. That's all I'm saying. And I'm hoping someone hears this, truly hears this. I mean, I'm begging you to hear this, people, Black folks. We have to form a party. Now
we have to be organized. We definitely have to be organized. And Eugene McJustice, he says, and maybe the first word was missing. There are our three greatest options are a super PAC, a political party, or a political watchdog.
That's right.
Organization that supports our interests.
That's right.
I mean, the bottom line is, we have to be organized. You know what I'm saying?
And we have to be organized. But I agree with Lovely T on this, but not being organized, my thing about the man in the arena, I'm still going to be in the arena. And even in that, when I think about holding people accountable, some people, and to a certain extent, I agree with, Tone about, we know enough about Biden in terms of in government, because he has a voting record. He has a 20-year voting record. Like Tone said, he voted for that 3 strikes nonsense, and he has a history in Congress that we can look up. So no matter what he says today, well, you know what, Joe? I can look at your last 20 years in Congress, and it's unlikely you're going to go into the presidency and not do what you've already done and what you haven't really created legislation to support our people. So I do agree with Tone on that. So we do have a record right now of the two candidates of what Biden has done or not done, what 45 has done and not done. And now we have a decision to make between the two and what they've done, legislation that they've put through, things they've supported, things they said they were going to do and follow through on, things of that nature. And, Pence, he has a voting record as well. And whoever Biden chooses, if it's Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris or whomever, they have a record. So now we have historical precedent of the two individuals, and until we can organize, because we're not, God willing, we can get organized before November with a super PAC or watchdog. Odds are we won't. So between the two, whose record has been the most an albatross over on the necks of Black folk?
Right. I think we definitely, and our topic is reparations. And I think, again, it's like individually, for everyone who's looking at this podcast, individually, we get fired up, but what is our action step, especially if we're as an individual, vote. We have to be engaged. I guess that's my point. We can't sit back and vent and then don't do anything. You know, whether it's like Tone said, you know, we are the streets, you know, and change typically happens like, you know, grassroots up. You know what I'm saying? So we have to let our representatives know what we want to be on the agenda for this election. We have to do that. We have to do so. How so my challenge to the audience is, as an individual, what can you do to make sure that what you want to be talked about or addressed is put on the platform for discussion and debate so that we can make an informed decision come election day?
That's right.
That's right.
And that's something. And the producer, I'm going to get her to play. Last but not least, we're summing up this way. There was a video, and we're going to play this video. It was, I think it was 8 guards or officers at this establishment, at this police or county jail. I don't know what it was. That Derek Chauvin. Well, he's there, and these officers, these black officers, was not allowed to be on that floor that he was on, due to them being black. So they removed every officer. Hear it clear, guys. They removed, if we don't believe that this exists, they personally removed your black face. If you was on it or working within that system, they remove you from the floor of where George Floyd killer was. If you were black, they remove you from that. And now these officers are suing because they're suing because of discrimination. I don't know really what it is, but we're going to look at this video. I want you to prep this video. I'm not going to look at the whole thing. I'm going to tell you when to cut it, producer, but I want you guys to look at this. So, because what am I saying when you see this? No matter what you believe in our false reality, no matter what we believe, your black face make a difference. And this is why we need to come together as a people. I'm not saying in a violent way, but in a way of power to say our vote count, and what we believe does count. We're in power, and we have a number of people in this capitalist society who believe the same way we believe. They say, hey, listen, if you don't move this, you won't get our vote. But I want you to look at this video. Look at this video. Let's look at this video real quick.
The officer said they were prohibited from entering or working on the floor where former MPD officer Derek Chauvin was being held. The attorney spoke about the lawsuit.
We gotta turn it up.
Turn it up.
Right now, our community, our state, and our country are grieving the senseless death of George Floyd and far too many other people of color. Many of us are using this moment to examine and take a closer look at racism and the small and large systemic injustices facing our neighbors of color. Unfortunately, we're here today to bring light to another example of prejudice and discrimination, this time in the workplace. On Friday, May 29th, 8 correctional officers of color went to work at Ramsey County Jail, which is right here behind me, expecting to do their jobs. However, they were prevented from doing so when former police officer Derek Chauvin arrived at the jail that afternoon. Upon his arrival, Superintendent Lyden ordered that all the correctional officers of color were to be prohibited from guarding Chauvin or going anywhere on the 5th floor where he was to be held. This decision was made solely because of the color of the officer's skin. We're here today because 8 individuals who were impacted by this decision were brave enough to come forward.
Let's cut it, Jay.
And it still is.
We're gonna cut it right there. We're gonna cut it right there because this can go long. If you want to see it, you can also go on to YouTube and type it in what happened. But here's the thing. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about us having no power. Listen, let's turn the cards around. If this was a black officer that killed a white guy, do you think when he was arrested, he would be put in this situation where only black officers would deal with him? Or do you think that whoever was available would deal with this officer?
Sure.
That's what
you would have had regular citizens with an open gun, open carry law up in there. if it was opposite. Not only would you have police, you would have had regular citizens with their guns up in.
Exactly. So what am I saying? This is what we're up against.
Yep.
They're saying, listen, anytime I mean, what will be your, here's the thing, what will be your reason to not allowing these, and let me make sure I underscore this, not allowing these professional officers to deal with this man. These professional officers, because here we go. Just like you got people who believe there's not systemic racism going within their police force, then why would you not allow these black men to do their jobs, even if it is this guy that they're signing in or whatever? Why would you allow them to do their job if you believe that systemic racism doesn't exist? You get what I mean? Because you know that they might, or you in your mindset, you might think that they're going to crack this guy in the head. They're going to hurt this guy. They're going to deal with him in a, you know what I mean, in a way that they normally wouldn't deal because of what he did. You get what I mean? What would be your reason for not allowing these black officers, these professional officers, to do their job? You get what I'm saying? Looking at this, that's why we got to vote. Listen. When I mean vote, that's why we got to set.
Did you hear what he just said, RW3?
Well, it came out.
Yeah.
The word vote came out. I'm not saying the word vote as in we got to vote for these two knuckleheads. I'm saying that we have to vote in terms of our party. We have to put our party together and make demands and then vote. Now, listen, what would be the reason that we wouldn't do that? Think about it. What will be the? And now I want to get you guys your understanding in this area. Are you saying that black people shouldn't form a party?
No, we already told you we agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
We agree.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree. I just think, like RW3 said, in terms of like now, like, will we have enough time to develop a super PAC or some? I mean, maybe we will. You know, that's great. But in the absence of that, I don't think the alternative is to just sit back and not vote. I'm saying we have to be engaged. Even the effort that you're talking about, Tone, it takes engagement. It takes us getting up off our butt, putting the blunt down, you know, and going to or being a part of these conversations where we hash out, or even supporting existing organizations that already have a lot of these pieces in place to make our numbers stronger and bigger. Like we have to engage, you know what I mean? So that's to me at the foundation. We cannot afford to sit back and do nothing. This is too great of an opportunity right now. You know, with these people in power, they cannot turn a blind eye. They cannot, you know what I mean? Now they can choose to do whatever they want, but they can't say, oh, I didn't realize this was going on. It's too prevalent right now. And then you have a younger generation, you have a charged millennial generation that's like action now, and they need that energy channeled and organized so that we can push forward, you know. So I don't want to go on a rant, but I just think that at the foundation, we have to be engaged. We cannot sit back and just say, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to vote. Like I said, I'm not going to vote only works in context of an organized, intentional strategy to get our agenda put on the platform.
That's right. Well, see here, so we'll hear it clear, and I don't mind sharing this with America. I'm not voting for Donald Trump or Joe Biden. I believe that they're both the same guy. I believe that we've been spent for so many years, and it's just another thing. They're coming back out. They know they're going to get our vote. I'm not voting for either one because I don't believe neither one could bring change in terms of the more detailed things about Black America that needs to be touched on, instead of this thing where, okay, we're going, what is even on the agenda? You know, I know that, you know, if I was to even look at Donald Trump, I do understand that this man did let out black people. If he was a racist, if I was a racist, I wouldn't let anybody black out of prison. What would be the reason? This is my chance to actually act upon who I am. But I'm going to let you out. There's a woman right now who's running for, I believe, senator or whatever in Atlanta, and this woman was let out of prison. Donald Trump pardoned her out of prison. He pardoned her out of prison, and now this woman is going 100%. She's a Republican. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that you have to be a Republican or a Democrat. I am saying that you have to use your platform that will benefit black folks. I am saying that if you do have an agenda or a platform, even if you are Republican or not. So all I'm saying is that, and there's many other things that has passed through. I can't just think them off the top of my head that this man has done, like him or not. Like them or not, that's on you how you feel. But like them or not, but I can tell you this, that we do have to form, and we do have to say that we're tired of the okie doke. We're tired of you thinking that we're your whore. We're your whore. That whenever you come out to our place of business or our home, that we're just going to vote for you because you showed up. That should be over. And that's what I'm telling our people. Stop being the whore. Start trying to make demands and say, hey, listen, this is what my demands is. This is what you need to do. And guys, that would be the voice of Antonio coming from this podcast. Make a difference in your vote. Don't just vote just to vote. Okay, you voted him out of office. Now what? Now what? He's out of office. Now what? What do we do now? See what I mean? Because as I know, my people still broke in the hood. My people still struggling in the hood. My people still trying to find jobs in the hood. Even if they're not in the hood, they're still looking for jobs. My people still have to make sure they don't put a hoodie on their head. My young brothers got to make sure they don't put a hoodie on their head so they won't be shot or killed.
I'll say this, though. I think, of course, I'm going to go back. You know, I think when you say now what, I think if you're talking about microwave now what instantly, I mean, I can't debate you on that. But for example, there were those, when we talk about the Civil War, the Union and Confederacy, there were Negroes who fought on the side of the Union, right? And then when it was over, it was a now what? Instantly, life didn't change for them instantly. But over in the period, but they needed to fight on that side to begin the deconstruction of that system. And over a period of time, things began to change. So I don't agree. I don't think when you say now what, instantly, I agree with that, Tone, but you have to make a decision to begin the ball rolling towards that now what.
But now, is it the same? Is it the same protocol? Do we still keep voting for people because they know that they can get our vote because we say Black Lives Matter and I wear a kente cloth and bow down on the knee? That means that you really care about me? Because here's the thing: even the people that you talked about, those men in the war, they still came home to Jim Crow. Every last one of those men and women came home to a Jim Crow who didn't even accept, I'm about to get pissed off, who didn't even accept them when they came home because of who they were. Didn't accept them. Jim Crow, it didn't matter. It didn't matter who they voted for. They were still looked up as the N-word and a people who wasn't supposed to make it. And I'm surprised that they here now. Only because of the grace of God that our people are here today. Don't ever, listen, nobody out here in this podcast world should ever get it twisted. It wasn't your education that got you where you are today. It was God and his grace on your life because white society was trying to eradicate you. I'm not speaking about every white person because I love white people like I love black people, like I love Hispanic. It doesn't matter to me, but I am saying that it does matter to a group of people. So what I'm saying is that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can go back deep as you want in history. It doesn't matter. All is going to show up is that they still looked at you as an N-word, even in those days. Didn't matter. Listen, I'm a lend
and like I said, that's why I said I'll be really, I hope I live to see like what the next generation, because this is going to be ongoing. I accept that.
Yes,
but where will we be? Where will we be in the future?
That's right.
Because we, I mean, when I was coming up, I'm gonna be honest, like the statues, like I would see them, I guess, but I wasn't in a space of consciousness to really like question, like for example, Cobo Hall. It was just Cobo Hall. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't question who is Kobo, but we have a generation now because of the world that they live in and how easy information is available and accessible, and just there, again, all of that which has come before them, they're in that space now where they are conscious about this stuff, and they're demanding, like, no, we are not supporting these racist, again, like RW3's point. Like the change is like turning the Titanic away from the iceberg. You know what I mean? It's not like put the pizza in the microwave and hit a minute. It's slow moving, but we have to keep just putting one foot in front of the other and keep changing and saying what we will tolerate and what we will not. So this is a great period in time for change. This is a great time, a great opportunity for change. It's up to us what we, choose to do with the opportunity.
Well, let me get a little bit in there. See, here's the thing. When I made the statement about when RW3 made it about a time period, obviously I don't know anybody who can step into something and it change automatically, just change overnight in terms of voting. But what I am saying is that that doesn't mean we don't start anywhere. I guess it's that just is you making the decision. You here you go. A lot of time, with this election, people are more prone to getting Donald Trump out of office. We don't care who we get in office. Our mindset is we just want to put somebody in office other than him. Now, hate me or not, you can't tie in. I'm going to be honest with you. You can't tie in. I mean, single-handedly tie in what Donald Trump has done to black people to hurt them. If somebody tell me what that is so I can do the research. And listen, I'm not for Donald Trump. Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm saying is that there's a narrative that's pushed out that this man is a racist. That's what's been pushed out, allocate only by the words that he has said out of his own mouth. So I get that. He said it, he's done it to himself, and I agree with that. But at the same time, when we start talking and we settle down, the smoke clear, put some things together that this man has done that pushes racism within our community other than his big mouth. I know the same thing that Planned Parenthood has done, the Democrats has always locked in to kill out our black babies. I know a lot of that. I know a lot. I'm just what I'm saying is this. I can pretty much touch on the things that Democrats have done. I can touch these things to affect the African American community. I can touch these things. Name some things that you can touch since Donald Trump been in office that affected black people.
I think RW pointed out one significant one. I want to hear a personal story. I worked at an organization that it was very, very ironic. The organization was about women empowerment, but yet they did not have health care for dependents. So that was the craziest thing I had ever heard. Like, you were about women empowerment, but I can't even I can get insurance for myself, but I can't get insurance for my son. So you're a nonprofit and you can barely pay me. But on top of the low wage salary that I have to get for the position that I'm in, now I have to pay out of pocket for my son, who, has probably a higher likelihood of getting sick because kids are germ carriers than myself. I have to figure out how I'm going to pay for his health insurance. It was through Obamacare that I was able to get a package for me and my son. It still cost me, money, but I could afford to get health care for my son and myself and still pay my bill, my rent every month. Without Obamacare, and guess what? I'm a diabetic, so I have a pre-existing condition. So without Obamacare in place, I would not have been able to be as secure, you know what I'm saying? And the fact of what am I going to do if one of us gets sick? So when you talk about how did it touch, the fact that this man is trying to dismantle this simultaneously at a time when we have unprecedented levels of unemployment. Okay, so we're not even talking about poor people anymore. We're talking about people who just lost their job. No one, I haven't met anyone yet who can afford Cobra, because that stuff is 3 times more than what you would pay employees. So again, you're talking about how has his decisions touched African Americans? That is huge. That is huge. We know that African Americans, number one, are disproportionately impacted by COVID-19, are at higher risk of dying, have comorbid issues more so than other populations. For him to take that away, for him to limit access to the quality of healthcare that we can receive, is a direct attack on my ability to live well.
So let me ask you this. Now, here's the thing. When you talk about Obamacare or healthcare, that's all Americans. That's not Black people personally. I mean, when you could point out to say this is something that he was thinking about Black people. This man was talking about Obama. Obamacare was designed for poor people or a certain amount of people who didn't make over $250,000 in terms of paying, or they'll pay a fine or just something like that. So that wasn't allocated directly for Black people like you would do with 3 strikes you out and getting them out of prison that affect Black people generally, as well as was that parent plan in hood that's only in African, that's only in African American communities, destroying our own Black abortion so that we won't repopulate. Those are systematic.
I respectfully disagree that you. I mean, I think it is your opinion that you're saying
it benefited all people. Insurance benefited everybody.
The 3 strikes you're out, but impacts not only Black people, it impacts brown people.
No, it was targeted. Everybody know in a system. You even Robert, you talk to your people that you talk to. You talk to anybody in this America that has eyes that know that incarceration affects African American and Latino people more greater than anybody else. So if I can lock you down, if I can abort your child and pull your child so you wouldn't populate, then I'm doing a great job within the African American community by destroying them through prison system, as well as depopulation, and to some degree jobs. So what I'm saying is this: Obamacare doesn't necessarily say that when this passes, it's going to help nothing but African Americans, because to be honest, half of the black population. I worked within the health department for almost 10 years. My wife worked for the health department 10 years. So my thing is, we've seen personally how it affected and how half of black women, is a shame, don't even use their Medicaid or Medicare or insurance to take care of themselves. I'm not saying that as me being racist as a black man. I'm saying that it's the honest God truth. I work for the health department. My job was to make sure that black women were going to see their doctors in terms of prenatal care. I worked for them. My wife did the same thing in Dearborn. For the county. I work for the city. She worked for the county. So we seen this personally. We're not guessing this thing out. The insurance was barely used. Do you know we had to actually go to homes and try to almost force, but not force, these women to come so that babies wouldn't die?
This is why you're wrong. This is why you're wrong. Okay.
I'm wrong. Hold on, wait a minute. We talking about 10 years. Hold on, wait a minute. Before you say wrong. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me lay it out. Before you say it. I was doing this for almost 10 years at Herman Kiefer Hospital, which I got a year worth of training into this system, and I worked this system. I was in this system. You gonna tell me I'm wrong for what I seen, and I picked these people up, and we almost lost funding because of it. You telling me I'm wrong? Let me hear what you got to say. Hold on. Let me hear what you have to say.
You keep talking.
Well, let me finish. Hold on. Wait a minute. I like to set it up. Because I like to make sure that the knife is in and twisted. So here's the thing. I'm trying to twist the knife now. My thing is this. You're telling me you don't believe something that I seen personally for almost 10 years. So let me hear what you have to tell me. When I was in the health department, when I don't know what you was doing 10 years from now, but I was working in the health department when it wasn't even popular. You get what I mean? And so when I need to hear what you got to tell me. Tell me what you need to say. Now you got the floor, RW3.
So let's get this off the table. You're not wrong about what you saw. So let's just get out the way.
My experience, not saw.
Okay, whatever you said about happening at Herman Kiefer, Medicare, Medicaid women, I'm not disputing that. So let's get that off the table. What you're wrong about is this.
I'm wrong.
You got the criminal justice system and the health. Let me start there. The healthcare system and the criminal justice system. Now, in any system, there are in America, in any system, how those systems are utilized. There are people that are impacted more greatly, and there are people that are less likely impacted in systems. That's healthcare system and criminal justice. So what do I agree with you on? I absolutely agree that criminal justice system, Biden and all them cats signed off on, and the strikes disproportionately impacted Black folk, right? We agree.
But I know it did. You don't have to agree.
Okay, so also we do know that system didn't 100% impact Black folk. It impacted whites, Latinos, and other people as well, but more Black folks.
What system?
Hold on.
No, be specific.
The healthcare system. We know for a fact. We know for a fact the healthcare system, right, that they created that for the system for America, just like that criminal justice reform, America. But guess who was most disproportionately impacted with the Obamacare coming in a positive way? Black folk, because of
poor people. Poor people, not Black folk. Poor people.
Black folk.
Poor people.
More than anybody else.
It's dominantly more white people in America than it is African Americans. So it's more white people. It's more white people on welfare. Hold on. I hear what you say. I'm gonna let you talk, but it burns me up when it's miscorrected. What I'm saying is there's more white people in this society than it is black people. There's more white people who benefit from welfare than it is black people. So what I'm saying is I get what you're saying, but that bill, Obamacare, I wish somebody would chime in. It affected holistically, like using your word, all other people in America. Or in America, it affected anybody that was specifically poor, which you got a lot of poor white people.
You said you want
to
okay, go ahead.
So, just like the crime bill, there were whites that have 3 strikes, Latinos that have 3 strikes, black folks. It was
no. Please don't say that on the Round Table podcast. Black people have. It's not the same. I'm shame on you.
Now, let me get to my point about this, the whole point you made. If you got, because we got to go to numbers. If you got 10 whites and 5 blacks, right? 10 whites and 5 blacks. And then 4 out of 5 blacks were major beneficiaries of that, but 6 out of 10 blacks, in terms of the numbers, in terms of the population, who benefited more by the numbers, Lovely T?
Say it again. I understand what you just said.
There's more white people, Tone. So the numbers is always
listen to what we said, Warmack. All I'm saying is from my understanding is, oh my God, you just wish people. Okay, so here you go, right? We're in denial. We're in denial if you don't believe that incarceration is more black people who get convicted of a felony, I can't even say my words, than it is white people. Now, here it go. You can have the same type of crime, but black people will suffer more than white people. That's just, it's always been that way. So my thing is 3 strikes you out was not depicted upon white people. 3 strikes you out has affected black people more than white people altogether. And I even believe, if you want me to go farther, that black people were in mind when 3 strikes you out came out. Listen, and even like I would tell you that Planned Parenthood or whatever, that was directed towards African American people. You can drink the Kool-Aid all you want, but what I'm gonna tell you is it affected black African American directly, more so than a Obama bill passing medical care that benefit poor people unless those people made 250,000 or more. I think it didn't benefit them or they were penalized. I don't know. But all I'm telling you is it's clearly the truth. Anybody would tell you that. Anybody would tell you.
So I got
Ask your police chief.
I want to get a couple comments in. It says Eugene McDonald says poverty is very much like crimes. It impacts Black people more as well. So therefore, healthcare being an affordable option does also. And then Dan Carr says facts. The median Black family has 0.01 cent to every dollar, which I also read that Blacks have 1/16 of wealth in comparison to white people. So that's not enough to be here for future generations, including ourselves. This is tantamount to having scraps to survive. We clearly need more of these reparation arguments.
Exactly. So all I'm saying is, to me, let me go on record because I like to make sure I'm clear to what I say. Obama could have changed laws that he didn't do. Listen, here you go. Laws that make sense for Black people. I'm not saying for every American. See, here's the thing. Whether we want to believe it or not, there are certain things Obama couldn't do because of his skin color that Donald Trump can do because of his skin color. Hear what I'm saying.
But will he?
He's already done some of the stuff. Listen, whether we want, let me tell you what hurts Donald Trump. His big mouth. That's what's been hurting him for years, and it still hurts him today. Now, and if you want to look, listen, here it go. I don't have to talk. All you got to do is do the research because it's out there. Look at it head to head. Listen, let's not even look at racism. Let's forget what he said. I know that's going to be hard to do. Let's look at what Donald Trump said. Let's forget all of that. Let's just take it. Now let's cover these people up. And let's look underlining moments of what each person have done that made an impact in African-American lives. Let's go that way. I'm not going to say my opinion on it. All I'm going to say is you look it up and you see for yourself, and then we'll have the discussion when we can base it on an educationally. We've really looked into this to see, well, okay, I see the numbers say this and this. Let's look at it. Let's forget what people say. Let's forget what you think. Let's forget what you heard this guy said, because obviously I'm with you. Obviously, he say things I heard him every day, just like he made that statement where he said that he told his people to stop testing. Obviously, that doesn't make sense. We get this. I understand that, but don't allow that to brainwash your mind into facts of what's happened. But
the fact is that his position. Now, if we were talking about somebody else, and you wanted to say, we can excuse his words, I might be ready to hear. But the fact that he's the president, that is part of his job as the president. He is the figurehead. He is the figurehead of the country. And so what he says matters. What comes out of his mouth matters.
I'm agreeing.
And when he perpetuates a tone in this country that creates division, hate, bigotry, like, you're right, like, nobody is going to pay attention to the legislation because he's fueling so much of that negativity just by his words. To me, it's too big to just say, well, we're going to excuse that part of him. We need to pay attention to this over here. That's your job as the president. That's your job. So you can't do what he said. You cannot do that.
Is it really his job? Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not going to even go on that part because I don't believe that. I believe his job is to do what the naysayers tell him to do, whether it makes sense or not. I don't believe, let me go on record to this. I don't believe that the president, no president in any, whether it's United States or anywhere, are the ones that whatever their words say, that's what goes. In other words, whatever they actually thinking, if they push it out, is going to happen. I believe that there's somebody behind him who is pushing an agenda on the American people. Now, we can believe that I get it, he's a figurehead, but it's bigger than Donald Trump. Believe it. Listen, the other day I was sitting back, I said to my wife, I just can't believe that this man is actually, he's saying all of these words on his own. Because it doesn't make sense. It's too obvious.
You think his administration is going to pass reparations?
Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I'm going to say this. I don't know, but I am going to, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that because I've seen some wild things happen before. So I really don't know. But my thing is that I sit back and I said, I can't believe that this guy is saying these words and saying these things that he's saying, and there's no one behind him helping him with some of the things that's going on. They're so obviously that could be racially driven. They could be racially. So I'm going to leave it that way, but that's just my mindset. I don't look at anything just as it is and say, because he said it, that's what he meant, or he didn't have some help. So I'm going to stay away from that. But I believe that for all of the presidents, not just Donald Trump. I can't elaborate on that because I think differently in terms of leaderhead of people who run in this country. I just don't believe it's just him by himself. I believe they're invoking issues and problems in this community because of a one world government. But that's just how I feel in that area. So in saying that, I still will go on I'm not for Donald Trump. I'm not for Joe Biden, but I will say that I believe, this is just me personally, it's just somebody prove it, that Obama did less than Donald Trump. I just believe.
Let's go to numbers. Prior to the Affordable Care Act, since I'm just going to deal with Black folk, white folks, and Hispanic. 13% of the white population was uninsured. 20% of Black folk were uninsured. So and 33% of Hispanics. So when it came in, it benefited Blacks and Hispanics more. Now check this out. Also, the percentage of people who had insurance prior to Obamacare for employers. 72% white had health insurance, only 40% Blacks, and 38% Hispanics. The Affordable Care Act was directly and benefited Hispanics and Blacks significantly more than white folk. And there's more numbers. I can go all up and down this chart.
Well, obviously, Warmack, RW3. What I'm saying is, I can make sense out of that, though. I don't know how you would make sense out of it. How I would make sense out of that is to say that obviously it would benefit Black people because of them not having the jobs that they will have. So obviously it would benefit Black people. I'm not saying Black people didn't benefit from it. I'm saying that it wasn't targeted towards only Black people. That's what I'm telling you. It wasn't obviously it would benefit people who don't. And listen, the 13,000 or 13% of white people, what was the income level? Because then we know that if these white people wanted to get those type of jobs, I don't know the status because you didn't get deeper. You just said a percentage. I didn't know the detail of who these people are or their economic status. So I don't know what that is. But what I am saying to you is that's obvious that Black people would benefit. They would benefit because of their jobs.
But this is my bottom line argument for all of this. I agree that because of the politics, no president or legislative person, senator, is going to say, because of the politics of it, is going to say specifically who it's directed for. When they did the crime bill or Obama, whoever was the president at the time, when
you can't say that.
Hold on, Tone. Nobody said, I'm signing this crime bill to target Blacks. This is my bottom line argument. I believe the crime bill then that Clinton and Biden and all them signed in was targeting Blacks, although they didn't say it. And I believe the Affordable Care Act, although he didn't say it, was targeting for people of color. That's what I believe.
Okay, so and hold on, before you get on there, Tracy, say something. What I want you to do is when you get a chance, so we don't got to talk about what we believe, we could talk about the facts. Go on to and I'm gonna put them out there, the Breakfast Club. It's a senator Black woman who's running for Senate or whatever, a seat in Atlanta. And she breaks down the things that the president that you hate or don't like to hate, she break down the numbers. Go to their site and you see it for yourself. Because here's the thing. Here's what happened. When this woman was running, she's running, Black lady, who now here it go now, who Donald Trump pardoned, Black woman, this racist man who pardoned a Black woman in the lowest place she can be, prison. So if that's the case, I got a legit reason. If I'm a racist to say, hey, this Black person in prison is not getting out because of the crime. And I think, I don't want to quote myself on this, but I want you to look at that podcast. I think it was even 7,000 more people that he pardoned. Now, I'm not sure on that, but what I want you to do is, because I already know what I believe the facts are. I ain't just running my lips because I'm just trying to debate with somebody. I'm telling you what people are saying out there, and the facts are already set out and it's laid out. You can look at it however you want to look at it. It is what it is. You know, misspoken or what. But go to that website. Now, here's the thing what I'm about to say. Do you know the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne, Angela Yee, and what's my man name? I forget my man name. They all, Envy, all of them were so on Donald Trump that they didn't even give this black woman really a legitimate time to talk about her values. But every time they went after Donald Trump, she brought a legitimate facts because she's running for Senate. So she got
to answer this fact, though, Tom.
No, but I was saying, go check it. What I want you to do,
I want you to answer this.
Check it out on your time. Check it out on your time.
Okay, Eugene, he's saying to you basically, and I want you to respond to this directly.
Okay,
He said the incarceration rate for blacks in 2018 was 29%, and for whites 34%. So his question is, how does 3 strikes impact blacks more? That's
okay,
Eugene you're saying.
No, he made a correction. He made a correction.
Right, 34 for whites, 34 for blacks, 29 for whites.
Okay, so here it go. Here's how it corrected.
Okay,
so with with African Americans, because of the poverty level, we seem to stay more in the forefront with police officers than anybody. Our struggle has always been money. We've been less on the toll pole. So a lot of our men and our women have to do, or they feel that they have to do what they have to do to survive. So what happens is they get incarcerated. So now, knowing that, if I change, this shouldn't even be rocket scientists to even black people, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Knowing that we have always been low on the totem pole in terms of economics, we haven't made enough, and that's what the whole thing about reparations is all about, putting us on an even playing field, that we've been out doing things the way that we do it. Now, whether those crimes are deserved a certain time, that's another question. So, but we tend to get ourselves put in a predicament. Now, it's easy to say if I run 3 strikes you out behind that, because I know that sooner or later that these people are going to come back in the prison system. Majority of the time is drug cases, breaking B&Es, because black folks have always trying to make an income. So if I know that if I set it up this way, now what I can do is I put out the 3 strikes you out law, because I know that they're going to benefit off of it more than my people. They're going to benefit because they're in the economic slope more than my people are. So that's how that happens. So how does it make a difference? You just said it, because there's black people who are going to prison hand over fist. A lot of them are getting the 3 strikes. They was. I think they canceled under Donald Trump law. I believe they canceled the 3 strikes you law. I think that's over with now. I don't quote me on that, but I believe it's over with now. But that's why I want you guys to check out this senator who's running, who can bring the facts to you. So that's how we benefit, because that's how they benefit, because it was hurting us. A lot of black men were going to prison because of the 3 strikes. Listen, if I take the black male out of the house, the family is not really the same. I don't know. So what are you asking me? What are you asking me then? But what are you asking me then?
Never just like those facts. I don't
know what you asking me then.
I'm not asking you. I'm just reading what he said. What I'm saying is that I don't agree to 3 strikes for targeting.
Who are the targetors? Who are the targetors? Who was 3 strikes you law? Who was now? Here it goes.
We agree.
I don't know what you asking me then.
It was targeting. No, it was targeting. I agree to targeting black men disproportionately. I agree.
So what I'm saying, all I'm doing is my
argument is also that legislation targeted black folk, and ACA targeted people of color. That's what I'm arguing. That's my argument.
But what I'm saying is okay, so what I'm saying is overall, or if you want to use your word, holistically, overall, all I'm telling you is this: black people suffer with any legislation that comes out, or any bill that goes against locking people up or depriving them from something has always been targeted towards Black America. So what I'm telling you is that in this, you can't, and notice you only can go to the CARE Act that everybody benefited from. You only can go there. Why is it the only time when we talk about Obama, we only go back to Obama?
But I'm saying though,
why is that the only thing we can go to when it helps every American?
My other argument is just like with the Affordable Care Act, you keep saying everybody, and everybody went to jail under the 3 strikes too.
No, but more Black. Listen, man. Listen.
And more Blacks benefited from the Affordable Care Act.
No. Listen.
That's a fact. I just read it to you.
But you don't. What you read to me?
The stats in terms of who was uninsured prior to, and it was more Blacks than people of color.
And I told you why. But I told you why. Listen, I told you. But the reason why that should be self-explanatory. That obviously they're going to benefit from it, RW3. Obviously, they're going to benefit it if they're poor or if they don't have the right careers that white society have. Obviously, they're going to benefit. Listen, if I want to deceive you, I could do the same thing. I could put something out that affect more.
But the point is, Tom, they were in a position they were as a culture in terms of us being uninsured and unhealthy and having access, lack of access. Hold on, having access to health care.
Hold on, real quick. Let me do this. Pull up. Go. I'm finna. Since we want to go there and you want to stay there. Let's go to the
talk show, guys.
Right.
Oh, I know you gotta leave. Hold on. Yeah. Listen, on the next talk show, let's do this. Yeah. Let me hear you argue. The next show, I'm gonna pull up. We're gonna pull up this senator, this Black woman. We're gonna pull her up, and I'm gonna let her answer all of your questions. A woman who's running for a position, who know what she's talking about. We're going to pull her up and we're going to let her talk, and let me see you argue with her when she brings
it back. Because I can research and come with my data.
What you saying? Well, you don't think she's going. Hold on. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you working in the field you work in, and this woman working in the field she work in that has to deal with facts, that you gonna say that this woman is just running, she just bumping her gums like me and you are? You don't even know her. You just pulled up. But you just pulled up. You just went online. Hold on, but you just went online. Listen, I already know you only going by things that you pulled up immediately. So here, let me show you how much I ain't. Let me show you how much I'm not a fool. You're going online right now without the research, and you're pulling in words so that you can debate this conversation. So whatever you got in, without looking at the resources, you're saying that that's more dangerous. To do that is more dangerous than a person who don't believe that systemic racism exists, because you're bringing something without really doing the head knowledge. You typing in, you pulling up, and you speaking on it without.
I already know it.
You said what?
But we all agree that we won't. We all agree that we
conversation.
All right, no, it's cool.
I never speak from a place that
it's cool.
Research.
It's cool. But what I'm going to do is, because I've already brought what I know that makes sense. But let's bring this senator. Let's bring this senator in, or the Congress lady, whatever she's running. I want to pull it up now, but I know y'all got to go. And I know this will cut all this off, because I know this woman is bringing the facts and the numbers. Even Envy and Charlemagne couldn't even debate with her. They had to get off the conversation and go back into Donald Trump as being a racist. But every time she brought up the numbers, they couldn't address it. So I know you not. So what I'm going to do is,
see if you can get her on the show. Reach out to her people, see if she'll come on the show.
She's the only one that can present facts.
What I'm gonna do is, the only
one that can present facts.
It's a whole lot of them out there. Is a guy right now called Omar. What's my man name? The psychologist who come on there and he would tell you himself. Obama, this is a well-known psychiatrist. His name Omar. He's a real popular black man. And let's see, can we pull up anything? Omar. He was on the Breakfast Club. He even brought to you how Obama did not help black. And guess what? It's more people who would tell you Obama did not help the black people out. I don't care what you say. They don't like Donald Trump either, but they would tell you that Obama did not help black people out. I don't know how you fooling yourself. You fooling yourself.
But I know. Well, I didn't say he did.
It's sick.
I would say that.
Well, here it goes. Here it goes. I didn't want to dump this out there.
Did I say that, T?
But
did
listen,
I say he was a champion for black people?
I've made more money since Donald Trump been in office than when Obama was in office. Doing the same thing. I'd have made, well, I'm an entrepreneur. So there's a difference between entrepreneur than a person, of the work class, which we don't down. Everybody should work a job, and that's what's up. But I'm talking about as an entrepreneur. I'm not talking. So
when did Obama leave office, Tone? When he leave office?
You know when he left office.
When he leave office, T? Obama.
But you know when he left office.
20 what? 20 what? 2016, right?
What do that mean, though?
So I was an entrepreneur doing both presidencies.
So you made over $100,000.
Tone, is that what entrepreneur is? 100,000? Or you made that number up?
Well, see, no. What I'm saying, no. Hear what I'm saying.
No matter what I made.
What I'm saying to you, you already know. We already know that we ain't on the same level in terms of entrepreneurship. I know we not.
Me and you, Tone.
Well, we not.
Between me and you.
I don't want this to be an argument. Well, RW3. RW3.
Me and Trump.
We on two different levels in terms of
you.
Listen to what I'm saying. But you're not letting me you're not like you telling me. You're not. I can explain myself very clear because I'm good at what I do. I like to talk, so I can back up what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that as an entrepreneur, I'm gonna make it clear, and a business owner, I've benefited more from from Donald Trump than I did Obama, which Obama, I actually suffered more. But I can bring in a lot of black entrepreneurs who will tell you the same because of the forum that we in. So what I'm saying is, I'm telling you, it don't matter what you say. I'm telling you what I know for a fact and my bank account. No, not just for me. It's other people. It's other people who believe the same way. So what I'm saying is that I get it. I understand where it is. And I do know we can do, all I'm saying is that getting back to it, because I don't want to lose what I'm saying sight of over a petty argument. What I want to say is that I'm going to put up a vid. In fact, I'm going to go to 3 videos and we're going to play these 3 videos and you pull up videos. Let's do this. And I want to play these videos, but I want to play the videos of the people who said that Obama have not benefited Obama. That's going to be, hold on.
That's not the conversation.
I'm about to give you some rope, though. Listen to what I'm saying.
Conversation. I think we should focus, if we're going to do reparations, the focus, like a couple of our audience members, we're framing this in, how are we closing the wealth gap? Right now, African Americans only have 1/16. So when we talk about reparations, we're talking about a means of closing the wealth gap, which will in turn, according to you and your entrepreneurial kind of way of thinking, will close that gap because we'll have money to venture off into more entrepreneurial business opportunities and venture or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think the conversation, we don't need to argue Obama versus Trump. That's not the argument here. We're trying to make sure that reparations get the attention and this bill gets passed so the conversations and the action can begin. So how do we do that? Let's use this platform to talk about what Blacks need in order to close the wealth gap. What do we need? Reparations is just one, but affordable health care is another. Not putting our Negroes in jail is another. Like, there are several things comprehensively that need to happen in order for this wealth gap to get closed. Let's talk about that. Let's not talk about Obama versus Trump. Like, I could give a damn less. Like, let's talk about what we need.
But Lovely T, listen to what I'm saying. I'm putting one of the things that I've learned through my class in communication is to always go back to the main idea. I never got off of the main idea. I've learned that in communication and deliberating or conversation, whatever it is here's the thing. I never lost focus. My focus was this. My focus was the fact that no matter what you say, that we still have to form a party. I was saying all that to get back to saying that Donald Trump, Obama, and again, I did say, and I put it wherever it's due, that I feel that Donald Trump, in spite of what you heard, I know he benefited my bottom line. But what I'm telling you is this. So if he benefited mine, he had to benefit others if we all in the entrepreneur. It just wouldn't make sense for him just to do this one black guy in Michigan and don't do other people. So that don't even make sense to me. So all I'm saying is that I was getting back to saying that no matter what, even whatever he did, even to Obama, we still have to form a party because neither one of them are for the black person. That was the main idea of what I was trying to deliberate to you. Whether it's Obama, whether it's Donald Trump, these people, we still need to form. If you want to know what's going to work, from my understanding, voting is not going to be the answer because why would it change if it haven't changed before? Donald Trump just got in office. Listen, let's look at this. Do you agree? I hope you agree with this. Do you agree that by Obama being a black man, that black people should have seen evidence? I mean, for sure, evidence that him being in office, that he changed my life. What I'm saying is you didn't see that. I didn't see that. So what am I telling you? Voting doesn't really matter to the degree that you say it does. What matters is that we form a party, we have an outline of what we're looking for, and we move forward. Just your vote alone for Donald Trump or Joe Biden is not going to change the narrative. That's all I'm telling you. It's not going to change the narrative. So I'm coming back and I'm bringing this back into order to say that was my reason for saying about Trump and Donald Trump and Obama. They still, even to the things that they did, hasn't helped black people significantly. Where we can make a difference within our community and grow as a strong community. We don't have that support from neither one of them. So that's why it's important for us to look into other alternatives other than just say, hey, my vote count. I'm not talking about anybody on this panel, but I'm saying I heard that through somebody praying at a church. Oh, God, I'm praying for the voters. What? Oh, God. That pisses me off. What do you mean you paying for the voters? Them same black folks been getting out on the corner and nothing still happened. Nothing happening until we got to do something that we haven't done before, and we can't be scared to do it. Which half of us is. We can't be scared to do it. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't really have anything else to say, but that I will revert back to is a party. I'm gonna keep saying it until we can't say it till people get it. We have to form our own party. We have to form our own party. Forget Donald Trump. Forget Obama. Forget Joe Biden. You better start looking and thinking for yourself and come together where black folks, a lot of us think alike to some degree. We have something that we want to do better for our communities. I hope that's something that we all agree to, that we want to do better for our communities. And what are you doing now to make that happen? And I'm not talking about your job. I'm talking about when you off work and you come home, how are you changing the society instead of making it worse? How are you changing it and making this society better? Again, I'm not talking about because you get paid to do it, because that's not helping. Because I'll do it too if I'm getting paid to. I'm saying, what do you do outside of what you do? And you don't have to do it, but you do it anyway because you're trying to change the narrative about our community. What are you doing? Then that's when I know things will start changing, as well as the party. You know, so that's where I am at it. I'm always right as it is. You know what I mean? So it don't really matter. My vote count.
You always right, Tom?
I'm always right anyway. You can chalk that up to narcissist, whatever you want to call it. In fact, a little known thing about narcissists, it only came out when a man seen himself in the lake. He seen a shadow of himself and he fell in love. He jumped in the water to go into that reflection and he died. And that's what narcissism actually came about, as far as the story that I've heard. So I don't think that way. I don't think that I'm that good when I jump in the water like a fool and kill myself. But all I'm telling you is this: it doesn't matter. I'm right. It don't matter. I'm right regardless. So I'm just playing with y'all. But just trying to break it out. No, we don't try to take this that serious, but it's a heated conversation, and it needs to be put out, whether whoever right or wrong. It's just a position. It's something that you can look at and look at other options in this communication of what we're saying, that it makes a difference of us being equal, and money is one of the help. I'm not saying it's the thing, but it helps when our people can be able to have money to do the things that they need to do. Well, that's what I care about at the end of the day, loving my Black people. So that's what it is. Guys, I don't know if you guys got anything else to say before we cut it.
That's it.
That's it.
3 hours straight.
Guys, listen, if you want to get more conversation, debate, at the end of the day, is all nothing but love for our this panel. And so don't think we just foes towards one another, but we just having a heated conversation. That's what we believe. So what do you believe? Comment, leave it from all this stuff that you heard, because we was in a whole lot of areas. What do you believe? Leave a comment. Guys, I want you guys to spark up this conversation and let us know. And guys, we'll see you. Go to our page, our YouTube, our Facebook, guys, and comment. Guys, you did a good job just through the week. I think we got over 85 comments, and probably even more in some of this discussion that we had. So what do you think? Leave a comment, and we'll have something more hot and fiery and spicy, because I know I got these two.
Like Lovely was on her birthday yesterday.
Will you shut up?
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to bring it spicy, and we'll talk to you then. So until then, guys, we're signing off.
Every day.
Love for you guys. 3 strikes you out. I don't know what that was, or that was something that I need to look deep into, but it is what it is. I'll talk to you guys. We'll see you soon. Stay tuned for our next episode, 4:30 Sundays. Peace out.